Welcome back to A People's Guide to Publishing. I'm Joe Beal, the founder and CEO of Microcosm Publishing and Distribution. I'm also the author of A People's Guide to Publishing, which distills what I've learned from selling millions of books over the past 25 years.
I'm Ellie Blue. I'm the editorial and marketing director here at Microcosm. We are an independent mid-list publisher based in Portland, Oregon. We have 14 employees, over 650 titles in print with 20 to 40 new books per year, and we distribute thousands of titles from other publishers.
We started this podcast so that we can share what we've learned with newer publishers so that you can learn from our mistakes.
Or maybe you just want to understand the publishing industry.
This week, we are going to we are going to answer a reader question, which is a rerun, a repeat, redo.
It's more like a
sequel. Question 2, Electric Boogaloo.
So what was the original question?
I wish I could delete that.
I think you can.
The initial question was, I'm a new publisher. I can't figure out how to acquire my initial manuscripts.
And we answered this on a very long ago episode.
2019, in fact, I learned.
So long ago, so much COVID under the bridge.
And I felt like we did a very good job. And at the end of the episode, apparently Ellie casually mentions, I have a lot more to say about that. And so after watching the episode several times, the original question asker came back with, I would like to hear what Ellie has to say additionally about that. To which we said, it's been a year and a half. I don't know that we remember.
I have no memory whatsoever of even recording this episode, but I do have a lot to say. So.
It was a really good episode. I watched it last week.
Oh, yeah. Good for us.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. It was like killer quality.
Sweet. Well, go back and watch it, readers, and then ask us, put us on the spot again.
Mm-hmm. And so, and we talked last time about, things that are more proper, like submittable or contacting people that you're a fan of and seeing if they have work that they can't otherwise get published or, essentially even just reading reporters' work and seeing, a lot of times they'll mention in their bio that they're trying to get their, book published and, and that so often, I guess it's like it boils down to like chase your network.
Yeah, I mean, I guess, trying to bring back 2019 me, who, A
little more optimistic, that one.
Hard to recognize. I would say that, if you're publishing books that are, that you deeply care about, you are probably connected to a community of other people that deeply care about the same things. And being an active part of that community is your way to create the networks that you need to get the quality submissions that you need.
Yeah, and normally, I joked extensively in the previous episode about how I wish we could get fewer submissions that were of higher quality, and the world would honestly really, really love to hear you say that you want to find books to publish and you are seeking authors for this purpose because, it almost always only works the other way around, so you're in tremendous luck. And honestly, this is ostensibly the reason for writers' conferences, so that might be something to push on too, is the notion that, you could attend things like that, like things like AWP, just general conferences and events for connecting writers to publishers or teaching authors the fine art of, how to package a book pitch and that. And having you, maybe incognito, maybe cognito, you could probably learn a lot too. And you could probably, undeniably, you could find absolutely no shortage of hundreds of people who desperately want to be published and some of them fitting your criteria.
What I've learned really since 2019 and also a little bit before is kind of coming at it from both directions. There are the authors that you go out and get, And that is like very chancy, and you have to be a little cautious of it, and it really is better to do it in your networks, which means you should be really paying attention to like who your friends are and who your networks are, because if you are, say, a white person and you only know other white people with college degrees or whatever, that's who you're going to end up publishing. And this is kind of the whole problem.
Any of those people. Is that why I can never get those authors?
Yeah, probably. I mean, this is the whole problem with the publishing industry. So, you know, make sure that you're like being attentive to who you are going after, but also like when you are approaching somebody and saying, I would like to publish a book by you, like you are essentially creating this power dynamic where you are offering them all of their dreams on a silver platter, and this is not necessarily the best basis for an ongoing relationship that's healthy.
What are you getting at here?
I'm saying, like, I mean, I learned this from you. Like, if you go courting authors...
Oh, I see.
You're gonna, like, create expectations that you can't necessarily fulfill.
Oh, I see. Yes. Right, because it happened to me the other day where I offered somebody wrote a really good article, and I went and I offered them, you know, I said, would you be interested in writing the expanded version as the book? And they said, oh, I actually have that already because my editor cut out so much stuff that I have that material. And then, you know, I sent them a publishing agreement, and then they were like, wow, if you're interested in this, then other people must be interested in this too, so I'm going to hold out for a better offer. And I was like, well, no, I don't really think that's the case, and I mean that honestly. But it was too late. You know, they had already decided that, like, you know, this was worth money and not just, like, of personal interest in our specializations of our exceedingly unique publishing house.
And I mean, whatever. They'll probably be back, and that's fine. Like, if honestly, like, I think if people can get a better offer, they should. Sure. But also, like, that is, a very good cautionary tale. I mean, we've definitely had it more often happen where, like, you know, we'll have some... like an eager young editor like me 6 years ago, like really chase someone down and like meet with them and invest time in them, and then they're like, you know, honored but also like not actually into writing the book. Like it wasn't their idea to write a book, it was my idea, and they're just kind of like not actually into doing it.
Right, yeah.
And that can be kind of heartbreaking as well. So
they're like, Ellie, your pet project is very nice for you, but I don't really have time for that.
Yeah, and, like, so, I mean, really the thing to do is, like, put out your feelers. Like, absolutely don't hold back from approaching people if you want to work with them. But, like, don't invest, you know, make it a feeler, not, like, a full frontal attack.
Whoa. The metaphors are going rampant here.
But then, you know, there's the other way is, like, the other question is, like, how do you attract people who are... do have a book idea or a book that they've written and they are looking for a publisher like you? How do you find them? And one thing that we've started doing is creating, someone at Kickstarter actually had this idea, Meredith at Kickstarter.
Shout out to Meredith.
Thanks, Meredith. To create a landing page for not just submissions, but for like a specific call for submissions. Like we did this with our witchcraft call for submissions. We were like, we want to expand this line of our books. So we made like a page showing all of our existing titles with images, giving examples of what we're looking for, linking to our submission guidelines, and we like promoted that page especially to our networks, and that was actually that worked. We're going to do that with our other lines also.
And then in some cases, so you know, one other thing we have done with some success is when we meet someone in our network, you know, that is maybe not someone that we know, but they show themselves to be like a genuine, kind, compassionate person that is pleasant and is not of extreme ego, but yet also has immense knowledge in certain niche subjects. You know, you get a sense of what it would be like to work with them, so then you have extra enticement to be like, would you be interested in this? And not pushing them, but you know, in an area where they have knowledge and have shown interest, you know, you're much, much more likely to A, get them to say yes, and B, more importantly, get them to write a finished book.
Yeah, like if you spell out what it would mean to work together and what they would have to do and what the relationship would be, that gives them a chance to like think about it and make their decision.
Yeah.
But, I mean, we get good submissions both ways.
It's true. It really is.
It's true. And then, like, from people coming to us.
Yeah, I mean, and that's the best way.
Yeah. I mean, going to events is definitely a huge one, like you were talking about. And, like, not just writers' conferences.
Anything in your areas of subject interests.
Yeah, like if you want to publish literary fiction or memoirs or poetry, I guess a writers' conference is the way to go.
That is the specialized conference for those things.
Yeah.
But honestly, I mean, it's like when you're trying to, catch a bear. The best way to catch a bear is to set a bear trap, not to...
I didn't know you had experience with bear hunting.
Well, you know me, outdoors person. And so you don't just like wander around in an opening waiting, for a chance encounter. You have to sort of like put out the things that would make it enticing and, so essentially you want to have an incredibly clear call for submissions. You want to say, this is what we want. This is what we don't want. This is how we like it. This is how you submit it to us.
Thanks for joining us once again.
Please send your questions to podcast@microcosmpublishing.com so we can answer them on future episodes.
And please give us 5 stars on iTunes and everywhere else that podcasts are reviewed.
You can find us on the internet at microcosm.pub,
On Twitter at Microcosm,
on Facebook at Microcosm Publishing,
on Instagram at Microcosm_pub.
and here in Portland, Oregon on North Williams Avenue.
Thank you so much.
Have a wonderful week.